Inshallah, today we will be looking at two letters again. So we will be looking at two throat letters. It's going to be a little bit interesting today. We're going to be looking at the letter ha and the letter ʿayn. Both of these together because they both come from the same articulation point. They are both throat letters, and they come from the middle of the throat. The throat is normally divided into three sections: the top, the middle, and the bottom. The ha and the ʿayn both come from the middle of the throat. Now, it's a little bit tricky trying to identify where are we talking about when we say the middle of the throat, because unlike the tongue or the lips, we can't actually see where we're actually going with the ha and the ʿayn. So my teacher actually gave me a few tricks to sort of figure out where the ha and the ʿayn are actually located and where they actually come from. And if you try to do like a swallowing action and you sort of do the swallowing action, the bit that you feel that moves in the throat, that is where you want to squeeze for the ha and the ʿayn. That is where the ha and the ʿayn come from. Okay. Another way you could look at it is, for example, if you wanted to sort of very gently clear your throat. So if you kind of go very gently, that again will take you to the makhraj of the ha and the ʿayn. Okay, so clearing your throat or just doing the swallowing action and feeling what moves in your throat. That is where the makhraj of the ha and the ʿayn are. Āyn are. I'm applying āyn to everything now. Okay, let's have a look at the letter ha. When the letter ha is joined to the letter before it, when it has a sakin, then the ha is, I mean, we know it as a hams letter, so it's got the breath. So when you join it and you can hear the breath, so you say ah, okay, you feel the breath, and you can hear it too. The other thing about the letter ha is it's a rakhawa letter, which means you keep, when it's sakin, you keep on it for a little while, you keep it running, you let it drag for a bit. You don't stop all of a sudden and say for example, you keep it running. Okay. When it comes with a fatha, a dhamma, or a kasra, then again, it's because it's a light letter, and we've discussed many times that with the fatha, when you have a light letter, the tongue is very much relaxed. There is no squeezing, no lifting of the tongue. You have the jaw drops a little bit, your mouth opens a little bit horizontally, a little bit vertically, so you get a nice light ha ending. Ha, hu, he, ha, hu, he. Okay. Again, you'll notice the movement when I say ha, but when I move to pronounce the dhamma and I say hu, then I bring in the circling of the lips. Okay, with the gap in the middle. Ha, hu, he. Okay, and when I say he, I move away from the circling of the lips again, and you notice my bottom lip kind of stretches a little bit, pulls down a bit. He, ha, hu, he. Okay. So how is this letter or the ha different to the letter āyn, even though again they come from the same articulation point? Well, with the ha, it's the hums. It's a breathy letter, right? We hear the breath. With the āyn, it's not a breathy letter. It's a letter of jahr, which means that you're not going to rely on the breath this time. Instead, you hear the sound of your voice. So when we join the letter āyn, when it is sakina, we say ah. So what you notice this time is when you're pronouncing the āyn, you go to the same part of the throat that you did with the ha, but this time you squeeze. It's not a hard squeeze, it's a gentle squeeze. So you don't squeeze too much, don't put too much energy into it. It's gentle. Ah, ah, ah. And āyn is one of those letters which is different to ha also in that it is not a letter that you prolong for as long as we did the ha. It's not a rakhawa letter. It's what we call tawassut. It's in between. We don't keep it too short, so we don't say and just stop all of a sudden. We don't keep it running and say and stay on it, but it's somewhere in between. It's not too long, not too short kind of a letter. Ah, ah, ah. So you feel the squeeze and you hold the squeeze whilst you're pronouncing the āyn when it is sakin. When the letter āyn has a fatha, a dhamma, or a kasra, the crucial thing to remember here is, yes, we are still squeezing in the throat, in the middle of the throat, but when we are pronouncing these letters with this letter with a haraka, when it has a fatha, a dhamma, or a kasra, we squeeze at the beginning and then we let go. So we don't keep the squeeze going for the whole duration. We don't say which actually sounds terrible to the ears as well. What you do is you squeeze and then let go and relax. Ah, oh, ay, ah, oh, ዒ. So you squeeze at the beginning, but then you let go. ዓ, 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 ዑ, ዒ. Have a go at that. It does take a bit of practice. So you squeeze at the beginning and then you let go. ዓ, ዓ, ዑ, ዒ, ዓ, ዓ, ዑ, ዒ, ዓ. Compared to the ha, ha, hu, he, ah. Okay, let's have a look at some examples. We have one example for the ha, but here we have two has in this part of this ayah. We have the ha which is sakina, and we have the ha which has a fatha. So remember what we said about the ha sakina, we stay on it for a little bit. Fasabbih. You see how you keep it running? You keep it running and hear the breath. Fasabbih bihamdi rabbik. Bihamdi. Biha. Just how we say ha, fatha, ha. In isolation, we say ha. Keep the same ha. Bihamdik. Fasabbih bihamdi rabbik. Okay? The examples for the letter ʿayn would be, for example, the word al-alim, the ʿayn with the fatha. Just how we say a, we say al-a, al-alim, al-alim. Okay, and with a kasra, again, remember the bottom lip kind of stretches, pulls down a little bit. ዒ, li'ibadina, li'ibadina, li'ibadina. Okay, so that's the ha and the ʿayn. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun trying to practice these letters, inshallah. Just remember what I said. They're both from the middle of the throat. Know where the middle of the throat is first. Try to go to that place. For the ʿayn, you're squeezing. You're relying on your voice. Ah, ah. See your voice come through. Ah. With the ha, it's your breath coming through. Ah. Okay, Jazakumullah khairan. I hope that's useful for you, inshallah. Keep practicing. Alhamdulillah, may Allah make it easy for you all. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.